Welcome. This your boy, Mr. G. Here we are, I'm starting a new series. This series is going to be called Name That Bike. Here's the reason for this. I'm just a super bike nerd, and I want to share my bike nerdness with everyone else. There are iconic motorcycles that, in my opinion, absolutely strangle the attention of people all over the world, and I want to talk about them and share them with you. And we're going to do it in the form of a game, so you get on my noggin. Here we go. Take you, put you right on my noggin, and we're going to get on this bike. This beautiful thing, one of the loves of my life. And I get on this way now because of this monster right here. And we're gonna play Name That Bike. So what I'm gonna do with Name That Bike is try to have certain Thursdays where I put out more than one video, and that second video will be Name That Bike. I will post the answers to the questions in the information section below the video, but then what I'll also do for you, if you find me on Instagram, which you can find on the banner on my page, you can go to my Instagram on days when I post a Name That Bike, and it's about to rain on us. Woo! Don't run into deer, don't run into deer. And you can actually see a picture of the bike that I'm referring to. That way I don't have to name it, because you have to name it. So, I'm going to give you two bikes today. Two bikes that I think are so iconic that they absolutely need to be talked about. And your job is to guess them. Alright? So, yeah, so just dead deer because I live in the woods. So let's start with Honda and two significant motorcycles that changed the face of motorcycling forever. And I mean that. Let's talk first about the two founders, because everyone thinks Honda, you know, but there was actually two people involved with founding Honda. One of them, I believe's last name was Fujisawa, but I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly. And then there was Honda. And Fujisawa is probably more to credit for this first motorcycle, and consequently for the success of Honda, to be quite honest. So Fujisawa says to Honda, I know that you're interested in making a racing motorcycle that will win the Isle of TT, but that's foolish. What we need to do is be making a lot of money. Then you can buy the best stuff for your racing motorcycles and win your race. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to make a motorcycle that can be produced for every country in the world, that's affordable and reliable, and that most importantly, you could ride this thing so easily that you could hold the handlebars in your right hand and in your left hand have a tray of noodles. Because in Japan, in the 50s, during the reconstruction of Japan after, you know, World War II, there were just a ton of noodle shops everywhere, and people, you know, kind of doing like pizza delivery, but noodle delivery. And this would just plug right into that and made them a ton of money. Like every noodle shop was going to want this motorcycle. So Honda went ahead, agreed to this, and they decided to produce a motorcycle that at one point, for several years, they produced and sold over 50 1,000 of these things, wait for it, every month. This motorcycle was the first motorcycle to have a fairing that was available to everybody, not just for people who were into racing. This motorcycle may not necessarily be a motorcycle. That was a big hint. But what I really want to get into with this bike, what makes it so significant, because it's now just such a common thing, is how they marketed the bike. The marketing was this: you meet such nice people on a Honda. Now, Honda's American Corporation had just started. Harley-Davidson Corporation was furious at this marketing because it suggested that their bikes were filled with people who were not nice. Harley had not yet embraced the bad boy imagery that is currently so ridiculous. And here's why this was significant. It was the beginning of lifestyle marketing. It was the first time that America was seeing this, and that the world was seeing it. You know, you're a nice person, and you want to be surrounded by nice people, and you want to be able to get to them more easily. Well, you know how nice people do that? They do that on a Honda. That's what takes them there. That's why they're surrounded by nice people, because they can get there easily. By the way, I hope you like where I live. Such a beautiful place. So, if you don't know the answer to this, start looking it up and find it out for yourself. And of course, I will Instagram a picture of this for you when this video comes out. And I will put the answer in the information section on this video. Now, let's get to our second Honda bike, because this bike was just as significant, and I think this paints a really clear picture of why Honda is the biggest, motorcycle company in the world, and why they have so much money that they now produce robotics and jets and all the parts for everybody else's, piston rings for Toyota and knockoff molds for generators and everything else. They just have so much money, and they're just so well known for their reliability and their ability to affect the market in such a heavy way that I think it's important to start with these two vehicles. So this next vehicle was not Fujisawa's side of the let's sell out of bikes, it was Honda's side. They had gone and visited and watched the Isle of Man racing, and Honda wanted to produce a bike that would win this race. And what he produced was a motorcycle that is basically the forerunner of modern sport bikes. And by the way, when you get a look at the picture on my Instagram, or if you look this up yourself, I wish they would retro this bike, because I would ride this bike all day long. Still, by today's standards, it is a stunningly beautiful motorcycle. What did Honda do that changed everything for motorcycles? Well, the big thing was the British's run the ton. You had to be able to do the ton. You had to have a motorcycle that had an engine big enough that it would go 100 miles per hour. And Honda decided, let's take things to the next level. So Mr. Honda produces a steel frame that is tubular. Now the standard. So no more heavy frame, because majority of the mass of the frame is gone. But he did not stop there. He then did something which is, also a common thing now in sport bike racing, especially with companies like Ducati, and that is he made the engine a stressed member of the frame. So you don't have a down tube in the front, so again, tons less weight, and the engine is put into this the frame that is there, whatever is there, in so tightly that it kind of helps hold everything together as well. Now, of course, there's risk in doing this, but it's a race, and winning is worth the risk, I guess, is the scenario, right? And he did another thing too, which was inverted front forks. And what you have basically is today's motorcycle. This is today's sport bike. This is the first time that this is being done. It had a lot. It was only like a 300 plus cc engine, and it was running the ton, no problem. In fact, I think it's on record as being clocked at like something that does like 106 miles per hour. Go check out these two bikes. You have all the clues that you could possibly ever need. And I want to thank you for playing Guess That Bike. And the next time you're checking out a Honda going by, recognize and respect. Because Honda, Fujisawa, and these two-wheelers change the face of everything that we know as motorcycling today. This your boy, Mr. G. Like, share, and subscribe. Everyone has participated in this thing, right? Help me get this thing big. Help me blow it up. Everyone chime in on the comment section. Share this with a friend so that more people will play. It'll make the comment section more fun. Except, let's exclude Jay Leno. He's not allowed to play. Since he owns all the motorcycles we're going to discuss, he should know all the answers anyway. So if you're not Jay Leno, please share this with a friend. Let's make this thing blow up. This your boy, Mr. G, and I'm out. Peace!